Is this him?
Yep.
Bas?
Is this the great Bas Rutten?
Yay!
It's the unbelievable Bas Rutten.
Oh, Bas, let me tell
El
you.
Guapo.
You are on UFC Unfiltered. Jimmy's away this week, but you're on with myself, Matt Serra, and Phoenix Carnivale. And I am so psyched to be talking to you. For people that, first of all, everybody should know. If anybody's listening to this podcast and they don't know Bas Rutten, I might tell them just not listen anymore because that's ridiculous. He is a true pioneer of this sport. And he's a legend. People say legend. They throw that word around too much, Phoenix.
Yes.
He's a fucking legend.
But you are a legend, Bas. And
Bas.
a great personality and a very cool person.
You got two of your biggest fans here, Bas.
You really do.
Man, that's a great beginning of the whole phone call.
How are you? How are you, my friend?
Doing great, man. I mean, I was just sitting outside in the backyard. You know, in the sun, it's nice and warm. When you're out of the sun, it's starting to get cold here. We're turning into sissies here in California.
So, and you're living in Cali still, and I want to talk about what you got going on with with anything coming up movie wise. Because let me tell you, besides being just a bad motherfucker, you see obviously the Kevin James movie Here Comes the Boom.
Yeah.
Besides other things, but that one stands out for me because dude, you were fucking great in that movie.
Very funny.
Thank you. You know, I actually did an episode of Kevin Can't Wait last week, so I think that will come out this week or next week. And it was a funny thing. It's a fun part. So you never know. You never know what comes out of everything. You know, movie here, movie there. I just did another movie, I did like 2 years ago, but it just came out. It was called Mercy. That was Mercy Rule. River Thief was this one. Nice. And although the people didn't really. You know, they said the movie was a little slow, which I think it's one of those festival movies. I had a great review, so I said I'll take it.
Okay.
Oh, where can I see that? I'm gonna find that.
You can just watch it. Look it on. I'm a bad guy, man, in this one.
Nice.
Yeah, really. Killing.
Shit! I can't wait, man.
Just Google it. You know, the River Thief.
The River Thief. And listen,
Thief, yeah.
I got the inside scoop on your appearance on Kevin Can Wait. I had the great Ray Longo was on set, and he told me. Did you know that? Right?
No, I was there. Yeah.
You're like, I saw him. Yeah, Longo told me. He goes, Bas was on Kevin's show. It was great. But I'm gonna be looking forward to that because Chris Wyman was on a show, on an episode of Kevin Can Wait.
Was he like a cop or something?
Yes. Oh, he was great on it. I don't know if
he was really great. That was his first acting job. I was twittering about it, tweeting about it.
Yes,
this is crazy. He was really did really good.
No, I know what, and I just watched it recently. I felt bad because it was right before his last fight, Chris. So I was concentrating on the fight, and I just found it recently on demand or whatever. However, I got it. My wife found it. I don't know how to find it. I'm the worst with doing anything with the TV or the computer or whatever. But I watched it just the other day, and I freaking loved it, man. I can't wait. Now, Bas, you have a lot of fights. One of the fights that, first of all, back in the day when I first started watching you was in the '90s, and obviously back then Phoenix, we didn't have it wasn't like everything on computer or whatever. It was
it's like you ordered it from Black Belt magazine, in the back of the magazine, and you got the VHS too.
Exactly, and I would watch these things, these Pancrase fights, and I saw this, there's a bunch of Japanese guys. Then you had guys like you had Ken Shamrock over there. That's where he was getting his start, and they'd be fighting in regular like the short like trunks or speedos or whatever, but they'd have these big boots on. Right? And they're not, and Bas, you, in those days, you weren't allowed to punch. You had to hit open hand. So I'd see this, so I'm watching this thing, and then there's this big, bald looking superhero from Holland just palm striking guys and dropping them. That's you, Bas. That must feel like ages ago. It was ages ago. But tell me about those days.
You know, it was a crazy time. Those are rules. Those were rules that were all, made for the Japanese fighters. They were great on the ground, so let's give them shoes. Hey, let's put some shin guards on because they're striking. Let's stop the striking there. Yeah. Let's not do any gloves. Let's do open hands. But open hand strikes to the face, but then they still have their hands for rear naked chokes. It was kind of designed, I truly believe so, for the Japanese fighters. But I loved it. I used to hit like that as a bouncer with palm strikes because I saw my buddies getting their hands breaking their hand.
Yeah.
So I said, that's not going to happen with me. So I always hit with the wrist part of my thing. I never slapped. I just hit with that bone that's very close, but there at the wrist.
I have to tell you that I've been watching you.
The ear.
for years.
It works.
And I remember that because I just watched a lot of your tapes and it was like the bing, the bang, the boom, or whatever. And I was at a bar one day and this guy licked my face and I palm striked him in the jaw, palm striked him. And that was my ode to Bas Rutten.
But it's okay. We're friends now, me and Phoenix. Yeah, we made up after that. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't me. I wasn't the pervert doing that.
Yeah, no, you palm strike so you don't break your hand.
No, you know what? I didn't even think about those old pancrase fights being geared more towards the Japanese grapplers. And it's true, though. The leg locks with those boots on, holy man, that's nasty. I mean, that is... first of all, a guy with good leg locks is hard to get out as is. But with those boots on, it's almost ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. It's crazy. Bas,
go ahead.
With
the heel hooks, they started taking it out at a certain point because everybody started messing up their knees. I saw I didn't know what a heel hook was, and I saw it the day before in a highlight reel, and I look at my buddy. And I go, man, that's a cool move. I'm going to try that if I have the chance for it. And the next day, what do you know? I'm in that position. And I go, yeah, let's try it. So I lock it up. It's an inverted heel hook. I'm sitting in half guard. His leg is over. I grab the heel. I lock it up, and I fall backwards. But since I never did it, I had no clue what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I freaking snapped his shin bone in half.
Yeah.
Wow.
His knee was stronger. So that was pretty much the last fight. I think maybe one more after me injured his knee. And then Pancras says, you know what? We got to take the heel hooks out because this is getting crazy. Everybody got injured.
You know what's funny about that? In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, when they first came out with the sport, they had the heel hooks allowed with the gi on. And then I remember the guys were telling me in Brazil, they would go, but 1 year they had to get rid of them because 1 year everybody was blowing out their ACLs. And they said, all right, enough of this. Because with the heel hook compared to the Achilles lock, the heel hook, it starts on the foot. And you're like, I don't feel it, I'm fine. And it goes right up to your knee and tears it. So it's a real, and with boots on, that's actually just ridiculous. You get the right guy on that. Oh man, that's rough.
Way too much grip. It's toe holds and heel hooks. Everything, knee bars. They can't pull out. It's like they're wearing a gi almost.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
that friction. Yeah,
Bas,
Bas
is good at leg locks.
Yeah. Now, Bas, let me ask you because this out of all your fights, and I don't know why this one stands out in my head. I know why because it looked like a freaking monster movie. Is when you fought it was your very last fight. Not for nothing. You were in a spring chicken. I think you were my age now. I'm 42 now. When you had your last fight, how old were you?
Yeah, 42.
Yeah, you were my age now. And I'm not doing that shit right now, Phoenix. I'm pretty relaxed now. But Bas had his last fight, and Kevin James was in his corner, if I remember correctly. And he fought, I don't know if it was a last-minute replacement or something. I forgot exactly. He fought this big, I think he was a Native American. What was he, an Indian guy? What was his name?
Yeah, it was Native American. Yep.
And now Bas is not a little dude. Yeah. He's not a little, Bas. He's a big guy. He was up to this guy. This guy was a giant. He was a big freak, and it was awesome. It was like one of those comic book movies that we love. Phoenix. he was just combinations on this dude, and it was just awesome because the guy was able to take some because he was a big dude. Did you take him out in the first round?
I took him out, but low kicks actually.
Low kicks.
I had a phone call from Don Fry days before, and he fought him, and he says, "Dude, that guy has a hard head on him." And I go, I pulled a muscle out, a rib. But I said, I'm going to try to knock him out. If that doesn't work, I'll go for low kicks. If that doesn't work, I'll take his butt down and I'll go for a submission. So those were the game plans.
That was a fun
after
fight.
hitting him very hard, I go okay, let's throw some low kicks.
When did you end that in that fight? How'd you finish it? It was the second round or first?
First round low kicks. And that guy, Ruben Villarreal, his name is Warpath. But he took that fight on 2 days' notice because I was supposed to fight Kimo Leopoldo.
Yeah.
But he tested positive for steroids, so they took him out. And then I was in shock because I had so many injuries. I spent like $25,000 just on, keeping me into the game. And I go, man, if the fight is not going to happen, I'm going to lose a lot of money right now. So thankfully, Ruben Villarreal, he stepped up and saved the day.
Warpath, and that's funny. Warpath. That's the name of a. Not to get too nerdy on your Bas. The Warpath is from Thunderbird's brother in the X-Men.
Oh yeah.
It always goes back to comic books with me, boss. I'm really just an embarrassment. But that fight, how big that guy weighed? How much did that guy weigh? Only because you got to understand, this guy was huge. How big was? Do you know how much the weight difference was?
Yeah, I think it was like 260.
The guy was gigantic.
And I was, I think 210 or 212. I've been always like that.
Yeah, he's my weight now, boss.
Do you look at the difference, right, with the rules and everything now, and like the way things have changed? What do you think of like how different the sport is from when you started to what's happening now?
For me, not as much. The early days where they had no rules and all that stuff. And there was no referee. There was a referee, but he was not allowed to step in. That I didn't like, because we all know there's some crazy guys out there. If I get knocked out, then I would like somebody to pull him off instead of getting like 6-7 more shots to the head. While you're out, that's not going to be healthy. So with all the rules changes, in Japan we had 30-minute rounds. That was the biggest difference.
Yeah.
And no weight class. And then when I came to the UFC, they actually, that was the first. Believe it or not, that was the first heavyweight champion, because that's where they created weight classes. It was 200 pounds and under and 200 pounds and over. And I believe it was middleweight and heavyweight. That's what they called it. Mm-hmm. And that was the first tournament, a short tournament, like Kevin Redelman versus Maury Smith, and then I versus Tsuyoshi Kusaka, and then the winners would fight for the title. So that's how we set that whole thing up. So
it was crazy.
The rules, 15 minutes and 2 times 3-minute overtime. Those were the rounds. But now with the rounds, and weight classes, I like it better. The size does matter. We all know this now.
Sure.
And I think it's much more healthy for the fighters as well.
Yeah, it wasn't until like UFC 14 and still they started using gloves.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah.
Came a long way. Boss, I'm reading here. Now, look, I didn't know this because I know a lot about you because I'm a fan. But I just read that you're a certified culinary chef and a passionate foodie, which is awesome because I'm a fatty and we could have been hanging out ages ago, me and you, boss. I didn't know you could cook. I would have been asking to be your friend so long ago. Talk to me about that.
I went to culinary school. Yeah, the French cuisine, so to say. Which was a school, and they go hand in hand with they have certain restaurants or hotels that are like really good places where you can also train. So then you go to school for 2 days a week, and for the rest you work.
Oh wow, that's awesome!
It's a great combination. Yeah.
What do you make? Like, what's your favorite dish?
Nice I'm a very simple guy. I like barbecuing and all that stuff. But when I cook at home, I always make like a really nice soup, like a bouillon. But it takes a couple of days to make it, so it's a really good one. You can really taste the difference. And a nice little salmon appetizer with like a hollandaise sauce, and then maybe a filet mignon with a béarnaise sauce, or a cheese sauce, or a red wine sauce, whatever. Yeah. No, I make some really good stuff. It's I love it myself. So, and I'm a critic.
Oh, cool.
Nah, you make any Italian food, by the way? I'm just asking. You do?
My wife is really good at that, my friend. So you have to come over here one time, brother.
Well, that's an invitation that I'm definitely gonna take you on. I'm in LA. You might be getting a call, and you're gonna. No, I was just saying that for the show. I'm gonna go, boss. I want to come. You got me hungry. What can I say?
And then you play this tape.
Exactly.
You should come back.
I'm gonna play this.
I didn't say that.
Listen, boss, are you watching the fight this weekend on Friday night? Are you watching Amanda Nunes versus Ronda Rousey?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, what do you think of that fight, of that main event fight? What do you think of Amanda Nunes? And do you think, Ronda, you listen, as a former fighter yourself, how somebody comes back from a loss is a big thing. It's such a mental hurdle, especially if you haven't lost before. I know she's lost before in competition in judo and whatnot, and it's come back to win. But it's different because when you get your ass kicked in any other sport, you don't really get your ass kicked. You know what I mean? So in this one, she's coming back from a brutal loss. What's your take on this?
That is exactly what you said. It's about her mental state. Can she shake it off and keep going? We saw great fighters, who looked unstoppable, and suddenly they get knocked out, and after that the careers, they go down the drain. The only guys I always say that don't really have that are the K1 guys, from Japan.
Yeah.
They will get knocked out, and then they come back and win the whole tournament again. I go like, man, this is so crazy. Their mindset is so simple, so to say, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I lost, so what? Let's go up to the next fight. But a lot of other people, it starts going over in the head. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't happen. And when that happens, it will happen. It's always the same thing. You're sending out a signal. So hopefully she can shake it off. She just got hit by Holm. She had a really stiff jab that she walked on.
Yeah.
And after that, she lost her game plan, lost everything. That doesn't mean that everybody now suddenly can do that to her, or that Holm can do it again.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
the mental state, that's it. But I think with Nunes, if she keeps stays on the feet, light on the feet like she did with Shevchenko, she really needs to fight Ronda like that. She cannot clinch with Ronda. Don't even try it. I wouldn't throw her single kicks because she's doing that a lot. Or unless, of course, you throw really hard to the head, because that buys you a little extra time since Rousey has to block it first.
Yeah.
But low kicks, I wouldn't even go for low kicks. You can go for it, but set it up with strikes.
Yeah.
Rousey, because if you watch, she should right away shoot in. As soon as there's a low kick, just counter it with the right straight and immediately follow through with a takedown or for a clinch, and then from there on, see if you can get the takedown. And I think once it goes to the ground, I believe Rousey will win by submission. I truly believe that. And I know that, and Nunes has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and in Judo a brown belt, I believe. But she never competed in it, for what I believe. And if she did, we never heard of it. So it couldn't be as high as a competition level as Rousey had. So it's all about that. It's all about Rousey. How does she come back from it? If I were her, I would move backwards the whole time in the first 2 minutes. 2 minutes is a long time if you're fighting.
Yeah.
And but if you move backwards the whole time and the audience starts getting antsy and now people start shouting and she's trying to avoid the fight, now Amanda Nunes might start overcommitting to her strikes, because now she needs to run in instead of step in. And that's exactly what you want. As soon as she starts overcommitting, boom, there's the clinch. And then see if you can take her down. But,
this is why we love you, Bas Rutten. I just want to interject with that. This is totally why we love you and why you're a great commentator as well, because it's such a clear image in my head of the way that fight could possibly go if they're smart about their strategy. And I just, the muscle memory of Ronda with her judo is just exceptional.
Well, the thing is also, compared to Holly's an in and out. She's got that footwork and Amanda doesn't really fight like that. She looks to put those fists on you, and in doing so, the clinch it's almost inevitable. I feel so. I feel it's going to hit the floor. I'm interested to see exactly how she does in the grappling realm with Ronda, being a brown belt in judo and a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I think that's going to be an interesting question right there. Right?
Yeah, I think in the women division, there's nobody can touch Ronda with a submission game. And never say never.
Yes.
So Benson Henderson suddenly getting by Pettis submitted with an armbar while he just received his black belt, and he's really good also. So if they get cocky, then of course something like that can happen. But I think right now the last thing from being Ronda is the last thing person from being cocky right now. I think she comes in with a renewed, hopefully, mind. And if that happens, then she might win the fight. But you never know, man. Nunes, she can hit with the kicks. Everything is so powerful.
Yeah, she's very tough and overwhelming.
The card is insane. I can't wait to watch that. Bas, what else? Now, what else? You got anything coming up? Anything you want to plug, buddy? What we got you on here?
I always tell the people, if you want, there's no more Christmas presents, but it's a late Christmas present. Look at the O2 trainer. That long training device that I had invented a while ago. It's doing wonders right now. If you want to work out your lungs, you let me know and send me a text. I'll get you one. I'll send you one.
Oh, that's good,
Bas,
man.
I do actually want to ask you about that because I know that you
Phoenix,
have...
he was talking about giving me free shit.
No,
you cut me...
No, I want to talk about the free shit that he wants to give you.
Don't forget that, Bas.
And I want one too, but I know that you had asthma, and that's another reason why one of my role models, because I have asthma, and they used to tell me I'd never be able to do like martial arts or fight competitively, having asthma and stuff. So because you're asthmatic, is the O2 trainer something that you got involved with because of that?
That's how the invention came. I had this invention when I was 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
I was a severe asthma patient. So I had asthma all the time. I had to use an inhaler, but then like once a month, once every 5 weeks, I had an asthma attack, which would be 7-8 days in bed, not able to eat because I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Like when people cough up and they think they have asthma, trust me, it's nothing compared to that. It's a really, you're constantly for 24/7 for 7 days or 8 days long. But I also did track and field. So after an asthma attack, when I would resume my track and field, I would always break my running times. I would just run better, and it blew my mind that I was trying to figure out why it was. Is it the medication I'm taking? What is going on? And then when I went to the doctor's office, I saw a big poster of with a drawing of pieces of a lung on there. You know, the lung pipe, the alveoli, the lungs. They were all drawn out, and it showed where the infection is in the lung infection. As a kid, you think it's in the lungs, but it's not. It's in the air pipes that go to the lungs.
Bronchioles.
That's where the infection is. And that was right away when I saw that. I go, oh man, I've been working out my lungs. I mean, they had to work really hard to pull air in through that infected area. So after doing that for 8 days, now when the infection is gone, it's much easier for them to breathe. I was working them out. I was training them. So why don't I come up with something that controls the air intake? And that was literally my thought, and that kept going in my head. And then finally, I started making it, and now I'm cured from my asthma. I haven't used an inhaler for the last 3.5 years, and I use it for every single fight. I always carry an inhaler normally, because when I sneeze really loud or aggressively, you know, you have that probably too, your lungs close. You know, you have to spray them open, and then you continue again. So everywhere I traveled in the past, I always needed an inhaler, and I don't even travel. I don't have one in the car. I don't take one with me. You know, so I'm totally cured from it. I sent it to a friend of mine who had asthma in Holland. Within 8 days, he didn't use his inhaler anymore. He sells them now in Europe. Yeah. You see, and now I have tests. I mean, I got Usain Bolt, 3 other gold medalists. Everybody's doing inspiratory muscle training.
Wow.
And I have the guy who trains them. And it's really amazing. We're going to come out with 18 medical journals in where it's proven. It's not clinically tested. It's clinically proven, because a lot of these ads, you know, when they say, oh, it's clinically tested. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything, because we still don't know the results. It's tested. What was the result? Was it a good result or a bad result? But this is 100% proven, clinically proven in medical journals what it does for you. So if it does for an asthma patient what it does for me, then you can only imagine what it does for athletes.
Now, wait a minute. Now, I thought you were plugging. What exactly you? I thought you were plugging your home thing that you're punching. You're. Am I out of my mind?
No, he was talking about the O2 trainer, the oxygen trainer,
Oh,
the thing that makes you look like Bane.
Oh, that thing.
See, I bring up superheroes. He totally knows what I'm talking about now.
No. Oh, but what about your home workout? Like somebody's holding pants for you, but there's nobody there. What is that?
Yeah, the body action system.
Yes.
That's a nice little thing also. Yeah. You can do everything. You can do uppercuts. It took a long time to make, man.
I thought you were hooking me up with one of those.
Like
I don't have asthma.
Yeah, you see, that's
George Foreman of MMA.
I was just going to say the same thing. I was going to say,
this is horrible.
He's doing Phoenix. He's steering it to the body action system.
That he wants one. That's what it is.
I'm just trying to give as many.
Bentley somewhere, maybe with me next to it. Maybe also, maybe for a Bentley.
Listen, I'm just giving as many plugs as you can possibly give to you. I want that because I'm looking for a lot of free shit, to be honest with you.
All right.
Bas, hey man, Bas, if you're ever in New York, please could you come in studio with us, because that'll be a trip, man.
Yeah, for sure. You know, if I come over there, I will.
How long are you in New York?
I'm going to be here only. I arrive tomorrow evening. I arrive, and then only till the 31st. The 31st, I fly out at 10:50.
Okay.
Well, then listen. Then your next trip, we want you in studio, man, because we'll have a blast in here.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right, Bas. Well, man, listen. Thanks so much for calling in. It's been an honor. I mean, I remember when not the first time I met you, but I got to know you a little bit, is when we did one of those warrior retreat seminars. It was myself. It was the great Bas Rutten, Damian Maya, Babalu. Oh man, and that was in Canada, in Toronto, and that's when I really got to shoot the shit with Bas, and I'm like, oh, hey, look, it's not just an act. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
you know, he really
is.
You
too, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks, Bas. Hey, thanks again, man, and I'm going to talk to you real soon.
All right, guys.
Bye, Bas.
Felix. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Bas. Take care, brother.
You